in the production, there's a song that the father sings all about telly, which is like, I'm so smart because I watch so much television. And he tells his son, like, take it away, Mikey. And then he has the ukulele upside down and he plays one string like, ding. And he's like, you can't learn that from a book. In my high school's production, he was like, take it away, Mikey. And he's slapping the ukulele and he's like,
Oh my God.
I didn't know what drum to do to that.
Is that the Cowboy Bebop theme?
It kind of sounded like a little bit. I was going for like a news thing, but
Oh.
now I kind of like that a little better. I don't know. I'll do a combination of both. Welcome to the Joystick Show. Right off the bat, sorry that last episode looked real bright on our end, but fix that. And also, if this episode's real low, sorry, but we're trying new things.
I think it'll sound pretty good.
We're trying to get this show on the we're just trying to do it
on the
better.
metaphorical
That's really all it
road.
is. You know, we got some big things
On
coming.
the wave.
Before we get into the big things, make sure you go ahead and like this episode of the Joystick Show. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Team Joystick. And if you want to know what we've been talking about, what am I talking about? What we are talking about.
What we are talking about this
It's
episode.
been right next to my face for the whole entirety of that YouTube stuff. And now
Look at that shit.
I've made it gone. It's gone.
Look at it.
All right. Feels good. Dylan's back after like a good long bit out of the country doing some maybe legal, maybe illegal stuff.
Pretty legal.
Tell us about that, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
so I just got back from a beautiful vacation at the FUPA capital of the world. I don't think anyone calls it that. That's not a good start.
No, I'd love to see that on a postcard.
Yeah, it would pretty work, you know.
Yeah.
But I got back from Puerto Rico. Very nice place. Bobby brought me there on a fine Thursday to Sunday trip. I remember. I think I went for and when you went to that wedding. I back half that. It was beautiful.
You were there for like a day. I mean, like 2 days maybe.
I mean, I was there for like 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days, I think, 3 or 4. But like.
But point is, now you really got to enjoy.
Correct. Yes. So we, me and my girlfriend booked an Airbnb in Old San Juan. That shit then got taken down, and we got our money back. So then we booked another Airbnb, and this shit was fucking beautiful. It was like a little like hacienda, like how like all the like apartments there, like there's like a square in the middle, which I think is so sick.
Yeah.
And it's like
a little
open.
courtyard.
Yeah, it's like a little courtyard, and then everyone gets a balcony, and then there's like a rooftop thing. It's like such a way better setup. But yeah, it was like one of those apartments, but like completely renovated. Everything was pink, you know.
Fire.
Yeah, even like
shirt?
yeah, so like even down to like the silverware. You know, it was like crazy.
Like rose gold or pink?
Like pink, like very like a night like a mellow pink, you know, like a pastel. Imagine like the buildings, you know.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
You know, so like my girlfriend was like, hand me the scissors, and I was like, oh, wait,
They're
like,
pink.
yeah. But yeah, what a beautiful place to be. We did a lot of things. Put a photo of me and my girlfriend looking great with our boy Raul.
It's actually just a photo of you and me in Puerto Rico.
It's actually a photo of the one photo where I look pregnant.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
so we did a walking tour, but included in that was that you had a guy named our photographer was named Raul.
Let's go, Raul.
And he does like destination weddings. You know what I mean? So I knew it was gonna be good stuff. And he's lived in Puerto Rico his whole life, so he knew about like the story of like where to go. This place is cool because of this. Blah blah blah. Awesome. The next day, actually on the first day, we were supposed to do a ghost tour. And we just overslept that shit.
A ghost tour in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, because there's a lot of those big forts. You know what happened at those big forts?
People died.
People died at those.
There was a lot of locations I found out in Puerto Rico where they used to execute people.
Oh wow!
And they had to move the location because they were like, well, we want to build like a nice building here,
Yeah.
so we have to move the killing fields over there.
Okay.
And it's weird that all these tours are done by like part-time people. You know what I mean?
Like people
like
have
that.
other jobs.
Yeah, that's not their main gig.
Yeah.
So this ghost tour was done. I don't even remember. Reginald, Richard, I think his name was. It was
Reginald Richard.
It was some R name. He was a man from London, England, 68 years old with a bowler hat and an umbrella. Like an umbrella taller than him.
What the fuck?
Like really tall.
Did this guy work for the Kingsmen?
He moved to Puerto Rico in 1988 to manage a farm. He then left that to buy a rainforest And now owns miles of rainforest in Puerto Rico where he harvests fruit and takes care of the wildlife. So we're doing this ghost tour. He's talking about people dying. He's talking about like widows. You know what I mean? That she kills herself because her husband killed herself. Like crazy shit. Right? Right? And then he'd just be like, and then we'd be walking. He'd be like, and then... look at this beautiful ficus. Like, we're just like, bro, you were telling a story. And he's like, look how beautiful. It's like, and then he'd like talk about like the branches and shit. And I'm like, bro, you were telling a story about some fucking ghosts.
I own 2% of this ficus.
And my favorite part of, I told this story, I think too, or at least I told you guys about the ghost tour that we did in, upstate. I was in Connecticut. It was like Massachusetts. That turned out to be an actual ghost investigation. My girlfriend was fucking scared shitless. This, you know, a lot more of like the storytelling. I still like the Chicago one the most because it was just like about like tragedies in history, and I was like, this is sick. This is great.
Historical.
So the guy made 100 jokes about like tragedies, and you know when you make a joke about like something bad happening, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
But yeah. We went into a place that used to be like a monastery and like a nunnery, and is now a hotel. It's like a pretty big hotel in downtown Puerto Rico, in downtown San Jose. However, one thing to mention is that he whips out a fucking device, and I'm like, oh shit, we gotta leave. Why do we have to do that? But no, it was just a simple reading. He's like, yep, it's haunted. He put it away. And I'm like, fucking, I buy it. You know what I mean? No need for fucking any type of like build up or any type of, you know.
Yeah. He didn't have the Fenton thermos.
Yeah, no, he just had that, and he had a stopwatch and went crazy. He turns directly to my girlfriend, and is just like, I think she's trying to contact you. He's like, no, she's not. She is not. And but yeah, we did pretty well.
Fire.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed my homeland.
However, I do want to talk about one last thing before we move on. And I do maybe have a couple of other sparing Puerto Rico fun stories, but I would like to talk about the best part of traveling, guys. And that is the movies you watch on the airplane. Because if you don't watch a movie on an airplane, you are flying incorrectly.
I have a critical first question for you.
Yes.
What airline did you fly?
Delta.
That's prime movie airline.
Over 1,000 movies.
You want to watch movies on the airline?
What the fuck is that? It's just Netflix. Does a guy have Netflix on the plane?
Giant,
I like. How is that possible? So, anyone who watches a TV show, if you're tired, I guess you listen to music or a podcast and knock out. I guess you could do that. But if you're not watching a movie, something is wrong with you.
You can pull the Bobby where you pop an edible and wake up at your destination.
Exactly. So. You can do that and also watch the movies. How great that is. First movie I watched, guys, Equalizer 3.
You finally saw it.
Great movie.
How about that scene, man, where he just falls in love with Italy, dude?
Literally, no, it's like I thought I'd be mad because I'm like, oh, this dude's fallen 40 minutes in love with this town. Why is he doing this? And then the movie's about the town. You're like, fuck, man.
He's got to protect that town.
The town is everything.
He's got to equalize that town.
Shit. How like no business really being so good. And then I watched one of my favorite movies. I wish we were watching it right now. And that is The Replacements, starring Keanu Reeves. Think heavy hitters, Denzel, and then a movie with Keanu and Gene Hackman. Come on,
I think this might be like your 6th time mentioning The Replacements.
Can we watch it, please? Show. It's not even that funny. It's just a good movie.
I feel like we owe it to you at some point.
To watch at least 45 minutes of that movie. Cartoon. Guess what? That movie's an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, that's a quick one, bro.
I still got a little time left. I watched the beginning of Asteroid City by Wes Anderson.
What do you think?
It's pretty good.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When did that movie come out? The Replacements.
1999, 2000.
Can we bring back short movies?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it's like a comedy that doesn't really have a lot of plot to it. Hour and 20, knock it out.
Dude,
like,
Netflix,
what are we doing?
I was like scrolling through Netflix the other day because I didn't know what to watch, and they had a category that said movies under 90 minutes, and I was like, thank
Holy moly. And think about it. It's like an hour.
Heavy hitters.
It's an hour and 27 with the credits.
Fire.
We need that. So we watch Asteroid City. Very good. Try too hard to be weird. But you know, that's every Wes Anderson movie. And then I watched Ocean's 13 to finish off the trilogy.
Bad one.
I like it better than 12. I'll be honest.
I don't know how I feel about that, but
The first half of 12 is an absolute snoozer.
it is. It is.
The first
Yeah,
half of
yeah, I'll give
12,
you that
I'm just
one.
like, what the fuck am I watching?
But you really prefer Al Pacino in Ocean's 13.
It's like in the whole plot, it's like, oh, we don't even want to rob him. We just want to fuck him over.
Yeah.
And it's just Al Pacino walking around a casino like, God damn it. Like, that's the whole movie. It's great. And then to finish it off, I watched Repo Man starring Emilio Estevez, which I don't know how I stumbled upon that. One of the best movies I've ever seen. The movie's fucking weird. It's like a fever dream. I have no idea what's going on halfway through, but it's a great movie. Go to Puerto Rico, guys.
Bro, it's funny you mentioned that because fucking the other day I found out that Martin Sheen's real name is Ramon Antonio Gerardo Estevez.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
I don't know how he got Martin Sheen, but I think it worked better for him.
I mean, I like Charlie. Charlie's pretty good, right?
Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
Charlie Estevez. Anyway, I also watched the movie, and I wanted to bring it up for two reasons. One, which I'll get to secondly, is for the movie itself. And the other is for where I went to go watch this movie.
Okay.
So for the past, 4-ish, 5-ish years, I've been watching all of my movies at a nice little quaint movie theater near our homes. Love it. It's fantastic. It's great. Shout out to Cinemark. They're great. They're a great business, right? But this past week, or rather weekend, a movie came out that I've very much been excited for that I'm going to talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it was not airing at Cinemark, so I had to go watch it at a different movie theater. I made a revisit to Midway over by Austin Street.
Oh, okay.
Haven't been there since we were teenagers. And damn, that movie theater is fucking awesome, bro. Those theaters are sick. I'm talking like gigantic screens, widescreen, reclinable seats with the little foldy things so you can eat your food, like the legit concessions. Don't get me wrong. It's not as cheap as Cinemark, but, I'm willing to break the bank here and there for a nicer experience. Not to mention Austin Street's right there. There's lots of bars and restaurants and cool little spots. So, just wanted to say, I think we gotta go make a visit sometime. Just go watch a movie.
Yeah, word.
And then to follow off of that, I went to go see The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Brand new Guy Ritchie film starring Henry Cavill, Alan Richardson, Henry Gold, and a couple other familiar faces. Essentially, it's an action film that's based on a true story. It's based on an actual British operation that was done in the 1940s during World War II, where they essentially were sent out to sink 3 Nazi ships to stop the invasion of German U-boats, right? Fucking awesome movie. The action is super sick. The way I described it to Jose yesterday was it felt like I was watching like a Call of Duty movie, if that makes sense, Like they tell each other, like, this is the mission, let's go. And then it's like a step-by-step process where you're watching them catch on the mission, right? And it's, if you've watched Guy Ritchie movies like, The Gentleman before, it's very snappy, very quick. So, like, it's really oddly fun for a war movie. So, like...
Oh, wait, I'm imagining this movie right now, and it sounds so sick.
It's heavy Inglourious Bastards vibes.
The first, like, The Gentleman is, like, one of the, like, it does, like, almost, like, a movie, like, scene thing where it's just very quick cuts, but it's, like, satisfying.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm watching clips. It's like no.
The pacing is...
Yeah.
So I thought the pacing was really good. I thought the action was fucking sick. And, that being said, I'm not really going to spoil too much about the movie and for what it's worth, it's not too much to spoil for it. It's just a really good, fun movie. I think you should check it out. I think it's not that big of a deal, but I gave it an 8 out of 10 if you want to know what the official score was for it. But what I actually wanted to talk about with the movie, which I thought was cool, was there's a part in the beginning where Henry Cavill's character, whose name is Captain, like, Major Phillips or something like that, he meets... a bunch of people in the British military that he's going to be working with. And one of the people that he meets gets introduced to him is Ian Fleming. And as soon as I heard that name, I was like, James Bond. Ian Fleming is the author who created James Bond and those stories, right? And then halfway through the movie, he gets mentioned again. And I remember leaning into Mildred in the theater and being like, I think that guy is playing Ian Fleming, the real life creator of James Bond. And then I told her, like, it would make sense because he's gone on record saying that a lot of the stories were based off of his own time serving in the British military and stuff like that. The movie ends, and the one thing I will spoil is after the movie ends, before the credits roll, they do one of those cool, like, based on a true story things where they'll show pictures of the actual people, like black and white photos from the 40s of the characters that, like, you know, Henry Cavill and Alan Rickman were playing, and then little, like, snippets of information of what they did after that and stuff like that, the awards they received. And for the main character, Henry Cavill's character, Major Phillips, it tells like he got a bunch of awards and went on to do a bunch of missions and stuff like that. But he's actually heavily theorized to be the man that was based, you know, James Bond was based upon in the first place. So I thought that was a really cool fucking tidbit of info. That being said, he does not carry himself at all like James Bond.
Of course
He's
not.
a fucking maniacal, cigar smoking, hilarious silencer gun using motherfucker who tears up Nazis. But if you like The Gentleman, if you like Inglourious Bastards, check it out. It's a fun fucking watch.
Sounds fun.
It's very, very fun. Yeah. Super good. I also just like historical movies like that. So that was just another cherry on top. Anybody else want to say some stuff?
I wanted to talk about what Dylan said when he watches movies on planes. I remember when I was... Because, like, they didn't have movies on planes until we hit, like, what, 11 or 12 years old when we were young.
It's been a thing for a while, movies on planes.
I remember the first time I rode a plane, it was JetBlue, and I saw a movie, and I thought it blew my mind. I was like, "Holy crap!"
JetBlue was great,
but like even JetBlue's an airline that came out like when it was like late '90s, early 2000s.
But that was the
JetBlue's
first time.
new too.
That was the first time I saw like a screen on the back of a chair, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like I was like, "Oh my god, this is the future," and it was dope.
I think I was like 3 the first time I saw it. Okay.
I don't know.
But anyways, I also saw a movie today actually. Before my Shudder subscription ended, and it was called Late Night with the Devil. It was a movie about a guy, a talk show host, who is down on his luck, and he goes and invites this woman who's been working with a young little girl who has been possessed by the devil, or what she likes to call it, psychic infestation. So she's on the show, and like little by little, it starts off very slow, like it's a regular talk show host, and as it's like progressing through, like, and we have this guest and this guest, it's getting closer and closer to the main guest, and it gets very like eerie towards the end. Really fun, but it did have some controversy because they had title cards. There's a lot of moments where they're like, all right, and we'll be right back to cut to commercial, and the title cards were used with AI. They did AI art to make those title cards, and a lot of people, I felt like that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Like they bombed the reviews, are like, fuck this, it used AI title cards, to which my girlfriend also was like, you could have gotten someone to make like these title cards, like they really didn't have to. Granted, it was a small budget film.
It's funny, as we talked about this like 5 episodes ago, but now the movie's out, so now you can actually like give your opinion on it.
It literally is a second. The title card was shown for like 2 seconds and the movie continued. But other than that, you know, it was a fun movie. I give it a 4 out of 5, honestly. It's original. A lot of people said, you know, it feels original. And to put it back to what we were saying, it's not that long. Hour 25, I think. Pretty short film.
Nice.
Enjoyed it.
Speaking of short movies, I don't know if I mentioned last time I watched Oppenheimer.
That's a real short movie.
Yeah,
That's
That's
super
the shortest
short
movie I've ever
It's the
watched.
shortest movie I've ever. It's a short film.
I watched it in halves. I think it was like.
Oh, you did the episode.
Yeah, I forget where I stopped the
You
first
started
time.
at Oppen and then you finished at
Yeah,
Heimer.
exactly.
That's how you do it.
Did you see?
I watched that and I watched The Lobster. So, you know, very different movies.
The same movie.
Yeah.
Did you see when Josh Peck was like, "Hug me, Oppie," and pushed the button?
Bro, Jerry also watched something yesterday with me.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What'd you watch?
We watched some shit, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've
Watched
heard
shit.
I've heard some very interesting
Yeah,
plus
so-
850 odds about this.
Yeah,
you know?
so Jerry and I, we started by watching the Knicks game, which was fun. We got to
Okay,
celebrate
nice.
that.
That was
Nice.
good.
And then after that, me, Jerry, Jose, my girlfriend Mill, we watched the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney fight. And after one, maybe two too many, fights before it, because Jesus Christ,
Right.
it took way too long for that fight to
Yeah,
come
they were
on.
taking a while.
It finally got to Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. And if you guys have been watching the Joystick show, if you guys are on Instagram, you probably know that Ryan Garcia, at least when it comes to his mental game, has kind of been falling down gutters, so to speak.
He hasn't had a drop of alcohol though.
He's in the
Alcohol.
man
Man is on the deep end for sure.
It's just alcohol.
So a lot of people, myself included, were expecting this fight to be very one-sided in Haney's direction. In fact, I even made a comment last week where I said I thought that Haney was going to be punching Ryan Garcia's head clean off. Ryan Garcia whooped the shit out of Devin Haney.
I've heard.
Over the course of 12 rounds. I think he knocked him down 3 times. It was a very clinch-heavy fight, unfortunately. A lot of grabbing, a lot of holding. But at the end of the day, I think a good amount of people were very much like, all right, we see. He still can do it. Even if he's a crazy person, he can still...
Isn't that...
He's crazy, but he could beat the shit out of him.
Isn't that better? We have a world where Trump is president and Ryan Garcia is like the best fighter ever.
And
We're just gonna
the most respected.
Yeah. Kanye is a shrine in
But you know
Chicago.
what's
We're like, you know what? We're
hilarious?
done.
Freaking before the fight, we were laughing because we were like, "Oh, this is gonna be funny." Because he was like, the before press conference, like right before, they were like, "Oh, what are you gonna think is gonna happen? What are you gonna do to Devin Haney?" He was like, "I'm gonna assassinate him. I'm gonna murder him in the ring."
I'm not happy if I don't leave that ring without his head.
Yeah, we were like, "Bro,
yeah.
okay."
And then it cuts to Devin, and Devin's like, "I'm just do my job. Just do what I'm paid to do, you know." Oh, I think this is gonna be Dylan's favorite part. My favorite part of the night was when, you know, as the night's going on between fights, it cuts to the announcers, and they're just trying to hype people up at the fight. They're like, "Let's check into the locker rooms," and then it's Devin Haney, and Devin Haney's working with the pad man. He's got the whole posse.
Ryan Garcia's on the switch.
They switched to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is, I shit you not, shadow boxing in his locker room with a full four string quartet. Like a whole symphony orchestra in his locker room, and they're just playing the fucking violin, the cello, the whole thing, and he's just fucking... This guy's like a super villain, bro. I kid you not. It was the funniest fuck. We were all like, what the fuck, bro? Like, and it wasn't like you could hear it, because it's still like the fight promotion music. It's like, let's check in to Riots, and it's just like them, and he's like... Bro, fucking incrable. It was amazing.
Man.
This is
Costs
so
money.
bizarre.
You like rented them out for like 3 hours.
He
Like,
rented
that's a lot of-
them.
As far as entertainment value, it was worth it.
It was
for the
worth it.
pay-per-view. But yeah, put some respect on Ryan's name. He retained it, but I will mention that at the weigh-in, he did weigh over 3.5 pounds overweight. So even though he won the fight, he doesn't actually get the belt. It just means that Devin Haney loses the belt. So
Yeah.
kind of sucks for that. But
No, doesn't he keep it?
no.
Why? Because he's over the weight.
Mm-hmm.
What
he was
class
3.5.
was it?
Yeah, so
So,
like
heavy,
basically he was over the weight, and then instead of
super
canceling the fight, they renegotiated the contract with the
So he
thing
was like,
being
all right,
that
if he
can't
wins, he loses the belt, but he doesn't get it
yeah, because it'd be unfair.
Mhm.
That's just the
because
rules.
he's too chubby.
And for every weight, he had to pay like $500,000.
So he paid $1.5 million to Devin Haney.
Because he was chubby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how it be. That's how it be.
That's crazy.
So shout outs to fighting, and also shout outs to the day that we watched the fighting, which was 4/20.
Yeah.
Great.
What's so
time.
significant about that day?
Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler.
Was it his
Yeah.
birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to mention my sugar, because that's how I celebrated my April 20th. Had my girlfriend supply me with an interesting batch of THC brown sugar, which I put a tablespoon into coffee. First of all, I don't drink coffee. You know me. It's not really a thing that I do. I don't even drink caffeine all that much. So the counter mix of both of them were added for a pretty good effect. It was like 3 hours of me just kind of like being very alert but chilling at the same time, if that makes sense.
Sounds
You know what
dope.
I'm saying? I was just kind of like, yeah, I was watching a movie like, yeah, this movie's a lot funnier than I remember, but it was good. I liked it. I think it's also because like the medicine that I take pretty much daily for my epilepsy stuff makes me drowsy, so I'm not used to that. So introducing coffee for the first time was like, I don't have to take a nap at like 2 in the fucking afternoon. This is different. I like this. So
Very
I might,
nice.
and THC sugar aside, I might have to introduce caffeine into my life. I think I'm gonna start easing in some
Yeah, just get more G Fuel.
probably espresso. I've been thinking of, because I think it's like less that you have to drink, right?
It's bitter though.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
It's like
Very
the little cups.
Coffee's
cup.
already bitter though. Well, to be fair, Mildred has hers like pretty much black, so that's also why.
Yeah.
probably. How do you
It's
guys
better
like
that
your
way.
coffee?
I put like if I'm drinking a whole cup of coffee, I'll put like a spoon and maybe a spoon and a half of brown sugar, and that's it.
Okay.
I used to do black with like 3 to 4 sugars, but I think I've been like slowly switching to a little bit of creamer.
That's the way to go.
Creamer and milk is
Hashtag
good.
Creamer Nation, sponsored by Joey. Do you guys know about that?
I don't know about the creamers.
Oh, okay. No, the Creamers of America. Yeah, there was a I forget which brand, but one of the bigger like non-dairy cream or like the creamer thing they put out, and that was their hashtag, and everyone was like, "Nah, you don't."
What was it? Creamer Nation?
Yeah, it was like show your support. This like take a photo of you with your coffee. Hashtag Creamer
Nation.
That sounds so weird.
Exactly, and that's what they were like a
Creamer Nation.
Yeah.
Don't try to make up hashtags.
yeah,
please.
bro. It reminded me
Not
of
everything
fucking.
deserves
It's
it.
like the Rihanna Navy, you know? It's like, did we really have to do
The
that?
Rihanna Navy.
Oh my
That's
God.
what our fans are called.
What else were there? Like some cringy names and hashtags.
You're probably hype as
The
fuck.
Joystick Navy, guys.
The Rihanna Navy were probably hype as fuck when she ended up starring in Battleship.
Well, no, that's why they're called. No,
shit,
that's
yeah,
why they're
right?
called the
Oh, yeah,
Navy.
that's
Yeah,
why.
that's why
The
they.
Rihanna
It was like,
Navy.
what do we
Makes
do?
sense.
What do we call
I
this?
see it. Oh fuck, man! I'm honestly mad because I forgot to mention this with the movie theater thing that I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
But when I mentioned Midway, or rather when I was walking to Midway, it was like a real nostalgic feeling for me because I haven't, like, literally haven't been there since we were kids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like walking up to it and I was like, damn, I haven't been here in forever. And as I walked up to the front of the theater, I couldn't help but remember the slightly pedophilic old man that had a habit of talking to Joey outside of the theater whenever we went to go watch movies. Do you remember that shit?
There was this weird person.
Yeah,
Who is this guy?
bro. I think we went to Midway like at least twice to go see movies, and both times that we went in a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time we'd go, there was an old gentleman who would just sit on like the ledge outside.
Oh,
of the
I know,
movie
okay,
theater, like
yeah.
a little fanny pack and shit. And he would just try to spark up conversations with people who were like waiting online at the box office and shit. And both times that we went, whichever group it was, I remember one time it was like us, and then one time it was like you and your high school friends. Both times this guy suckered Joey into talking to him, but the guy was like really like, "Oh yeah, what you gonna be watching? Huh? Yeah, you're gonna with all
I
your."
vaguely remember this.
He's like, "All your buddies," and like Joey's being nice because that's what you always did, you know. You just like being genuinely.
Joey's
nice
like,
to
I'm
the
gonna be
people.
proper for a bit, and I want to
you
end
know?
it. You know,
But
yeah.
like me, everyone in the back, like all your old high school friends are like, get the fuck away from him, Joey, like right now, bro. But I totally forgot about that dude. He used to just chill there all the time.
I'm glad you guys were with me for that.
I'm about to say, Joey's so on alert. I'm like, bro, this was bad.
Joey forgot about it practically.
I
was
forgot
bad
about
news,
it. Holy
man.
shit.
No, but it's so weird that like walking up to the theater, that's the first image that pops in my head. Like I see the ledge and I see him sitting on it, and I'm like,
That's kind
Oh.
of scary.
yeah.
I mean,
I
you see
don't wanna-
the old
I
man.
don't want to be that guy, but that dude was probably like 80, 15 years ago, so it's not looking
He's
great
dead.
for him. But you know,
Aw.
but are we
Aw.
really
I mean,
saying
do we
aw
wanna
for
say,
for
"Oh"?
Herbert? You know,
Come on.
like
I feel like he should have not been in public, but you know that's
yeah,
okay.
You know. That's why they didn't let him in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, Herbert,
You could stay right there.
On the ledge.
On the ledge.
Herbert used to hide underneath the gun arcade machine and just pop his head out.
Terminator machine.
Hey, how's it going? You shooting some
Terminator
books?
machine.
Hides
that shit.
behind the curtain of the photo booth. Just, hey, you want to take a picture?
He's in the
He
clear
actually-
area of the Jurassic Park arcade game. Like, hey, it's a good high score you got there.
Guys, can we go to round one? I'm gonna say this right now. We should go to round one.
This is that place you told us about
Yeah.
like 7 episodes ago.
Yes.
Long
Round
Island?
one.
And I
I'm
feel like
down.
we should. And I feel
Can
like
we
there
make
should
it a
be.
group trip?
And yeah,
I would
and
be
the
down.
third one was we film it.
What is
I'd
round
be
one?
down.
So
Hmm?
but Dylan basically explained it as like a 2-3 story arcade in Long Island, right?
Yeah, it's Long Island. It's a 3 stories, I believe. One floor is like all of like the Japanese like claw machines. One is all Dave and Buster arcade games, and then one's like bowling alley, air hockey, etc.
Hell yeah.
I thought you were talking about the secondhand streetwear store.
So I say we get
That would not be it.
no, I say we get
Or is it Ready One? I don't even remember the fuck it is. Either way, we're gonna
Told me it
go
was
there.
ready one. Had the word ready in it.
I remember and one. Like I remember like no, not to joke. There was and one the brand, and then there was like an off-brand and one store. I think it was like in Bushwick somewhere or something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, fucking
yeah.
group trip to round one
Group trip there.
/ feeler, so that we know what we're gonna film, and then third time, boom, Chronicles.
Bowling alley.
I
Sounds
like it.
dope. Just
No,
don't
we
let
don't
me
need to
talk
do
to any
bowling.
pedophiles while we're there.
No.
No,
I mean,
feel like
now
there's-
Joey, you gotta.
I feel like
you gotta
You should
learn.
know better now.
Ah, shit.
Imagine we take Joey anywhere. We're like, Joey's at the zoo. It's like, Joey, Talk to the animals. Do not talk.
Don't talk to him.
Don't talk to
He's
Herbert.
being friendly.
Bro, you have the perfect cover. If a pedophile ever talks to you, just tell him you're a pre-K teacher and he'll lose interest immediately. You're like, you're the competition, you know? That's what he sees. It's like, no, get away. All right. I have more
nowhere to
topics,
segue
and
from
we
that.
have-
I mean, Bobby, I could tell based on you riffing a joke about a pedophile.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole point.
that you didn't have anything.
No, I'm saying, like, we have 15 minutes left of the podcast, and we have no more talking points, and I feel bad about it.
Holy shit.
Are we just getting better and faster
I
at
think
this,
we
or-
just
Could be.
I think we just rapid fired this shit. I think we just rapid fired it.
Rapid fire this
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna talk about something.
Bro, I got a great question. So
Oh, fuck.
I was thinking about this question when I was picking my
Jerry's better.
when I was picking my band for the week, right?
Okay.
And so I was listening to an album. I was listening to Domo Genesis's 420 album that he dropped last year.
Okay.
And I was listening to it because I was looking for a song of the week, and I was like, well, it was a decent album, but I don't have a song for the week. I'm not gonna put this in my playlist, right? So I was gonna ask, when was the last time you listened to an album where you were like, I don't like any of this?
Ooh, I feel like that happened to me recently.
There's a lot of artists like that though. Like usually there'll be something I like, but there's a lot of artists where I'm like, this isn't for me.
No, but like an artist that you listen to.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll be
Man,
honest.
like,
okay.
Oh, there's actually. Wait a minute.
No, this is a good.
There's actually a lot.
I'll say this right off the bat. Panic at the Disco's latest album, Viva Las Vengeance, hated that shit. Definitely not a fan of that. However, the first time I listened to Fall Out Boy's Mania, that like EDM style album that they made, it made me viscerally angry. I was like, no.
I didn't know they
don't. Exactly.
made an EDM
it's
style
not,
album.
It's horrible. Horrible. But that was one of the times I can remember, like, I was like, I'm never going to listen to this album ever again. I don't think I have.
Dylan will probably know the band Knuckle Puck.
Mm-hmm.
They released a new album in 2023, and I listened to it, and I didn't like any of their songs. And I was sitting there wondering, is it my music taste changing, or is it just like, am I tired of this? I didn't know.
I mean,
what
I
it
think
was.
the band's changing. Certainly.
usually what it is.
Yeah, it's usually the band. Like I feel like with me, I fall out of interest with the band because they like put out, or at least like the thrill is kind of gone. You know what I mean? Like even when like the Arctic Monkeys made like that like lounge album or whatever, it's kind of like, despite it being good, it's like we didn't need this.
I'm not gonna lie.
We didn't need this right
I
now.
used to feel weird about it, and then once I actually like looked into the research of how it's a concept album about like the hotel on the moon, I'm a fan. I dig it.
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
one that they made though, the car, I think.
Yeah. It works as a concept, but I'm just saying like you gotta have the bangers.
No, yeah.
I mean that
100%.
that's their thing, so it works in their case. But I'm trying to think of like other bands where like that happened, because it's definitely happened.
Did you have one that you just like?
No, that was the
That was the
album.
one.
The
That was the
Domo
album.
Genesis
Yeah, I
one?
was like, fuck, I don't have anything from this.
Well, like I mean, gladly most bands and artists are consistent like that.
What was the last time you listened to an album? You were like, this is perfect. This is the best thing I've listened to in a very long time.
Those are good.
That's the
Been a
same
minute.
band, Knuckle Puck, for me.
I don't think
Untitled.
it's been. I think it's been like years and years.
Yeah. Because it's like there's usually like when an album's that good, you usually look for a song to kind of hate on. You're like, that whole album's good, but it's like
There's that one song.
this song, like he tried doing this, it didn't really work, or something like that. Or maybe it has a feature, kind of that like if the feature isn't good, that throws off like half songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like if I don't like the artist, it's like what am I gonna do? Like
Right.
half the song?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like half of a song. Get the fuck out of here! I'm not gonna like half of a song.
Man.
And it's the back half, and you're like, fuck.
I'll say this. This is like a weird one, and I know that at least two other people at this table can agree with me to some extent. There's something about Endless Fantasy as an album that really just like excited me when it came
it was great.
out. It was like
Yeah,
it was
it was
more than an
fantastic.
album, you know what I mean? It was like, and since then nothing's really like Anamanaguchi's put out albums since then, but it just doesn't feel exactly the same, Like there was just something I really don't know what it was. It was like
Very cohesive, very.
I don't even think it was that. The songs are really different on that album, but that was what made it cool, It was also a really long album.
And also, like, I mean, I know like some of the songs were like interludes and stuff made by
Yeah.
different people in the band, and that was cool.
Tatiana and I went to see the Scott Pilgrim concert they did, and then after they played all the songs on the Scott Pilgrim, they came back with an encore, And then I thought they were gonna play like one song. They played the entirety of Endless Fantasy.
Yeah.
And Tatiana was like losing her shit. And I think it made me realize that Tatiana hasn't been to an Anamanaguchi concert where they played those songs in full. And Tatiana was like losing her shit. And then the way they stage production, like the lights and everything, there was like Kirby like jumping up and down and like flipping all around. I was like, this is really dope. I like to see more concerts like that. Tatiana took me to one of her concerts where they had stereos with like effects inside the stereo.
That's
like
cool.
they were being displayed on the stereo, and I thought that was really cool.
Nice. Lights are super important. Lighting, just super things. I remember even when me and Bobby went to these guys, Royal Blood. That shit was like, it was like the lighting, like you change it, that changes the whole mood, you know?
100%. They also
The
do that thing where
performance.
like it's not just them. It's like any concert you go to, the lighting is always very like minimal for the opening acts, and then it's like a noticeable change when like the main act comes on. It's almost like a mark, like, oh no, this is different. We're in a different space right now. But yeah, it's an important part of the performance. And that being said, I do want to go to more concerts. I just
Same.
I've been looking. I just can't really see anything.
Absolutely.
I feel like all
there was
the
a few
bands
I
I used
missed.
to go.
There was a few that I saw, and it was just like it didn't add up.
Bro, I think we missed out on that. What was it? 3 Doors Down, Fuel.
Oh, that hasn't even passed yet.
Oh no.
Yeah,
We still have chances.
that's the summer of love, baby. I can go see fucking Papa. Wait, is it Papa? No, Finger 11.
Finger 11.
Yeah, not Papa Roach.
Papa 11.
Papa Roach, 3 Days Grace, and Finger 11 are the same band in my head, even though they're different bands.
If we go there,
Mm-hmm.
if I go crazy, will you still call me Superman? Real quick, can you look at this commercial? Because I've been meaning to bring this up, and I'm actually glad that they're showing it. So it's like a commercial where like Carmelo Anthony and they're just hanging out and they're talking about the old baggy suits that they used to wear.
Oh, that's sick.
But
I love
I'm
it.
like blown away at how that footage actually looks like early 2000s commercial footage. Like it's like kind of overexposed and like overly brown because of like the digital kind of camera space and shit. Like with the brown walls and the wooden tone. I was like, damn, they really nailed that look. Sorry to segue that, but I was meaning to talk about it and they just happened to be playing.
I love it.
Can I say what I just saw? HBO Max is showing HBO Max is showing like Wonka, and it was like Max gets Wonka. Then they showed Priscilla, and it was like Max gets rock and roll. And then they showed the color purple, and they're like Max gets purple. And I was like, that you get the word purple
I think
out of the color purple. You know the movie's not about purple.
I think Joey. I think they wanted to say something else.
A different word came into my head.
I think they wanted to say something else, and the PR team said, "Sadly, we cannot word it that way.
Yeah.
We cannot be that direct with our selling."
If you've never seen the color purple, it's about how the color purple came to existence. Yep.
Yeah.
They mixed red and blue, and they were like, "Whoa!"
Man.
That's the whole movie.
Spielberg really wasted some money
It's
on
about
that.
the creator of the color purple,
Stephen Purple.
Julian Purpleopolis.
Julian Purple.
All right.
That's a good joke. I like that.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's just as good as my pedophile joke earlier.
Mhm. No, that was way better.
No, yeah.
That was
And
way
it's
better.
almost as good as my Native American joke from last episode.
Yeah.
Just keep them on. Stay tuned for my handicap joke when I cap off this episode. When I handicap
Yo,
off
how much
this
time we
episode.
have left?
We have as much time as you want.
Joey,
he's not
you
even
have-
on the
Joey,
on
you
the
really-
show. And we're getting
honestly,
canceled.
we can cut this to the Joey
Speaking
hour.
wait, what?
Speaking of all these insensitive jokes, I went to go see my high school production of Matilda. So
How is that a segue?
because in Matilda's older brother is like kind of like dumb,
Okay.
but this kid played him like it was very insensitive to people with a disability. That it was almost awkward
So he has
watch.
a disability. He's not dumb.
No, it's that in the Broadway production of Matilda, the brother just says like a few words like TV. Like he's supposed to be almost like a zombie.
So a child who wasn't handicapped did a full-on impersonation of a disabled person?
Yes,
Okay.
but it was like to the max.
Oh my
It's
god.
terrible. Why is
It
it
was
funny?
to the max.
Oh man.
Holy crap.
Oh jeez.
Like in the production, there's a song that the father sings all about telly, which is like, I'm so smart because I watch so much television. And he tells his son, like, take it away, Mikey. And then he has the ukulele upside down and he plays one string like, ding. And he's like, you can't learn that from a book. In my high school's production, he was like, take it away, Mikey. And he's slapping the ukulele and he's like,
Oh my
And I'm like,
This is great.
I'm sitting in the audience like, oh my God. Like, I started like
you should have filmed that shit, man.
I started
Oh my God.
looking around to see if there was any parent that brought like, or anyone that knew someone with a disability. I'm like, this is bad. Like, why didn't anyone tell the kid like, tone it down, tone it down? The whole show, he was just like making noises and slapping himself, and then the bows come on. And he takes the wig off and he's like, hi, and I'm like, no, buddy, no, that was. Oh God!
Oh wow! Fucking give that kid the Tony right now.
Give him
The high school Tony. I don't know
The
what
high
it's
school
called.
Tony.
The Antonio.
Man's trying to make a name for himself.
Word.
Trying to be famous.
He's pulling off his Forrest Gump impression.
It was no Forrest.
Or is it like his Leonardo DiCaprio impression of What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Was he going for that?
It was worse than both of those. Like, it was
Okay.
just yelling. It was just yelling and
Got it.
smacking things.
All right. Shoutouts to Matilda. I barely know what that movie's about. I think
Matitties.
it's about a magic little girl.
Magic Girl.
And I know Danny DeVito's involved at some point.
Danny
in the movie?
DeVito and Rhea Perlman.
I don't remember that. I watched that movie.
It's because he's young. He doesn't look like our Danny DeVito.
Ah.
He looks like what
He's
Danny.
a little skinnier.
He looks like what Danny DeVito looked like in his prime, which is still nothing special.
Hey,
but,
he's
you know.
just a short little guy.
Yeah, you know.
He's a short little
Is
guy.
that where he met Rhea Perlman?
Yeah,
Huh.
I think so.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that about rounds up this episode. Let's
That was
go
a
to-
good. That was a good episode, guys. Right?
Let's go to
That was
Jam
good.
Yam
That was good.
Bam.
Way to
Slam.
go.
Yeah,
Round of
good.
applause
Clap
for
it
all
up.
of us.
Clap it up, guys. Clap it up.
Woo!
Cool. Sounds good. Fucking, my jam of the week is gonna go to a song that's actually kind of related to the podcast we just had.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that or not.
Oh.
It's actually going to go to a brand new Anamanaguchi release. It's going to be a song that they released alongside Wavedash and Cayenne, and it's called Be Alright with the letter B. So shout out to Be Alright.
That was to be all right. I'm going to choose the old classic Bobby and pick two songs.
It's not fair.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna mention. You know, I was originally gonna pick some Puerto Rican-based music.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I was gonna pick Caro by Bad
I
Bunny.
like the way you said that. Some Puerto Rican bass.
Some Puerto Rican.
You know, but you know, if they were better, then maybe I'd pick them for their music.
That's fair.
But in all seriousness, I'm going to pick Connect by Vampire Weekend. Go white people. This album is crazy. Vampire Weekend, the song will put you to sleep, but it's also like 150 BPM, so it's
Okay,
like kind of like it's like you're like, oh shit. And he the whole album, the bassist used an upright bass, which is kind of cool.
All right.
My slam is going to go to a band that just celebrated their 5th year anniversary of this album. The song is called The Corner's Dilemma by Free Throw. It's a song about he's having like an anxiety attack at a party. He just can't escape no matter where in the house he goes to. It was pretty cool.
Very, very good album.
Oh.
Very good album.
My song of the week is it's gonna be from an old Tyler the Creator album. It's from Wolf, and it is called Rusty. It's featuring Domo and Earl.
Oh shit.
And I'm picking it because Tyler, he was just I don't know if he was headlining at Coachella, but
He usually does.
he was doing 2 nights, and he did yesterday the 420, and he did it with Earl Sweatshirt, and it was the first time he performed with Earl in 10 years.
Wow.
And they did Rusty.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's dope.
And Earl probably didn't even rap on beat for any of
He
it.
doesn't even rap on beat in his own music.
Drank a lemonade with my aunt, and I
don't
went
leave
to the
your shoes on my couch. It's like, wait, what?
smoking doobies in the park with some lemonade, drinking. I don't know. It's a lot of lemonade. I don't know why. Anyway, shout outs to Tyler. Shout outs to Earl. Shout outs to you.
Thank
for
you.
watching this episode of the Joystick Show. We really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Viewers like you.
Make sure to
Thank
hang out with us next week when we sit around the table again and talk some new stuff. And Dylan's gonna get rid of more buttons as the weeks go on.
Oh,
shit!
shit.
Well, when we're
Premature.
on Patreon, Dylan's gonna go
Premature.
shirtless
Premature.
every episode, an
Mhm.
After Dark episode. I'm excited for it.
Mhm.
If you want to hear more about that, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Team Joystick. It also help if you like this episode. And from all of us here at Joystick, we thank you for watching, and make sure to go ahead and visit Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Do a dance for us, Dylan. How do Puerto Ricans dance?
Yeah.